Hello Little Theatrics, it's Monday, September 12th, a day after the 10th anniversary of September 11th. I'd like to apologize first and foremost if the lighting changes. I'm shooting this at the end of the day. So I know you've probably seen 1,000 videos like this, but I'm going to continue making this anyway, so if you don't want to watch, feel free. I'm just going to give my own personal reflection because I think this 10th anniversary deserves a little respect, so I'm going to tell my own personal story. My story is going to be primarily based off my own identity, which is an Australian youth, which will become more apparent later. So on September 11, 2001, I was 10 years old. It's September 12, 2011, and I'm turning 20 on the 24th. It's amazing how time flies. What I've noticed about personal reflections in newspapers and stuff like that is that everyone can say where they were on the day of this happening, where they were when they first heard the news. And I really can't. Keep in mind, I was 10 years old. Call it my naivety or my parents not telling me what was going on and the fact I didn't watch the news, probably a combination of the three. I don't actually remember where I was when I heard the news about September 11, and I don't actually remember September 11 being a significant day for me. It was just another day at school, which I hated. What I do remember is discussing it a few years later. I can only assume that I found out about it later, but keep in mind that I was a very naive child. I had to have been in about year 8, so I was about 13 years old, give or take. So in 2004, I had this media teacher named Miss Freeney, who I didn't particularly like at the time because she didn't like bullshit, and being 13, you're full of bullshit. That's the way it is. But we were talking about media representation, specifically how Muslims were represented right after the events of 2001, September 11. And she told me this story about this boy who couldn't have been older than my age right after the attacks occurred. Now keep in mind, I can't remember her exact words, but she told us this story about how this sweet, young, innocent-looking boy said that Muslims were wrong and they did the wrong thing. I don't want to misquote here, but I remember it to this day. So we can probably assume that it was a lot more profound and insulting, potentially, to the Muslim community than that. I'm sure you can use your imagination there. As an Australian youth, my thought process was trying to be neutral, which was, I don't care, I just want my Australian soldiers back. I don't want them helping out in this war. And then I realized how narrow-minded that thought process was. Can you imagine when an event this big is happening around the world, you have the narrow-mindedness and the selfishness to go, I don't care, just bring my countrymen back. I mean, what relation did I have to these soldiers? Nothing. Did I know any of them? No. But because everyone thought that way, I did too. As far as I'm concerned, everyone who is part of this war on terror is not concerned just for their countrymen or for their country, but for freedom from terror. And although I think it's incredibly naive and a little stupid to say, we're fighting a war on terror rather than a specific regime, it's bravery and ability that I don't think I could possibly possess. My only hope is that in 10 years we can look back at the events of 2001 September 11 and we can say that we took love as the option rather than retaliating hate with more hate. I'll see you guys next time.